Happy 4th, everyone. I'm wearing my shirt. So I just listened to the latest podcast on episode 2, The Places You Have Come to Fear the Most. And now I'm going to rewatch and give you my rewatch reaction. So let's see what I think this time around. When Karen says she's not going, feels... I love when Whitey's all like, Scott. And of course, Nathan thinks it's him again. He's like, no, not you. I love Whitey. Oh my God. Mouth and Jimmy are all like, oh, we've got our website. Media, and Whitey's all like, no media. Dan's so obnoxious. He's like, oh, hey, Keith, come to see your nephew play. Yeah, you could say that. You dink. Oh my God, though, when Dan says son and Lucas looks, and Nathan rubs that in. Like, God. Enter Brooke, being Brooke. Brookish. And honestly, it's so wild, again, knowing how different these women were in their real life versus what they played. So it's just such a mind like boggle, you know? Oh, and Peyton's like, nice hands, nice legs from Lucas. Oh, and so it begins. Poor Lucas gets put on the bench, and Nathan's like, start taking notes, punk. He did well at the jerk role, didn't he? Okay, so watching Peyton and Nathan kiss is so... Okay, I was never a Peyton-Nathan fan anyway. Peyton, I guess we could say. I'm not sure what the official term was. But after hearing her story that that he was younger than her, like he was 17 and she was like 20 or 21, and then she said that he was like, he said Sorg, which is gross backwards. He's like, oh, it's gross to kiss you. I'm like, oh my God. So watching this scene now, it's just, it's hilariously uncomfortable. And I totally get what she was talking about, how they did all the pans of his hand, like the shots of his hands going in different parts of her body. Like, oh my God, like how much time that took for them to do. And it's just, after you hear the backstory, it's like, wow, this is, no, it's like totally just kills any, like, but honestly, like I said, I was never really a fan of those two together. Okay, kicking it back to the CD days. I'm sorry, when she gets out of the truck and he drives off, but he threw out the CD and she's like, damn it, Nathan, that CD was hard to find. It was an import. For all of you kids that don't know, CDs used to be like gold. Like, you really had to look for them. Okay, it wasn't like today where we can just go online and buy a song. No, it was work to get our songs. Okay, so I feel that. And I do agree with the ladies on the podcast when Karen is talking about how she can't go back to the high school because the place knows too much. Like, I think everyone can identify with that, because I think there's always at least one place in everybody's lives that they just don't really want to go back to, because it knows too much. And that's a really deep line, deep thought. I do love the little chemistry between Lucas and Peyton, where she's like, oh, half the town saw you suck, so you've clearly come to cheer me up. Dude, Dan is so annoying. Oh, 30 points would have looked better to the scouts. You look winded in the 4th. Listen, old man. Athletics are hard, okay? And I do agree with Nathan, and you wonder why Mom extends those business trips. No kidding. I have to say, Peyton is like the realest cheerleader ever. Like, she's just so anti-cheerleader, but she is one. So it's like this paradox. I love it. And then she's all like, do you want to come in, Lucas? What about Nathan? What about him? That is the best question ever. What about him? That What are you doing? I didn't invite you in. I asked if you wanted to come in. Remember that, girls. That's great. Mother-son moments. Karen was sorry she missed it. And he... Ah... conflicted. You know, Nathan says he's sorry a lot. But I did love her response. Peyton's not here right now, just her lame music. Nathan coming with those excuses. You know, and I love how it pans to her artwork where she's like, it's okay. And then her artwork's like, it's not okay. It is not okay, indeed. And the one word description. Peyton telling Lucas choke, and then like Lucas is all like lonely, and then Nathan's like, I can describe Lucas in one word, bastard. Yeah, I'd hit him too, okay? I understand, Lucas. I get it. He deserved to be hit. Again with the whitey one-liners. I'd stand up, but every time I do, somebody kicks me in the ass for putting you on the team. Sit down! I love Jake's accurate assessment. Or he would have beat your ass. Pretty sure you were on the bottom and he tackled you. Get it, Jake. Oh my god, the Lucas and Haley friendship moments are so many feels.
Hey, did you buy the new Beyonce?
Oh my god, I love Brooke. Like, it's really too bad Lucas's poor Anne can't play because he's fine. You know, Sophia Bush really owned that role. Okay, so when Brooke's like, yeah, I'll go to college and I'll join the right sorority, marry a rich guy unless I get fat. And I think the moment that hits for me on that is the look on Peyton's face. Because she's like she's kind of horrified and like, it's like this. It's the greatest look, I swear. That's such a moment. Keith, it's a rule of life. The prettier the girl, the messier the car. I can attest to that. Oh man, Peyton was so like getting the like jerky Nathan vibes in that moment. These are my sketches. I don't read your diary. Dear diary, my daddy doesn't love me. Oh, that's such a Nathan line, I feel like. Ugh. Okay, so like D'Angelo's like, what's this I hear about a fight? Did you win? And then he finds out that the fight is over Nathan's girlfriend. And he's like, if you're going to get in a fight, get in a fight for something important. I really don't know how to feel about that line. I do love that where Nathan says, did you get hurt? Because he wasn't swinging at me. He was swinging at you, Dad. I have to say, Karen does such a good job at her role. She's like, so you want to tell me about the fight, or do you just want to assume I know about it while I yell at you? And she's just so cool and calm and collected while she butters her toast or muffin or whatever. I love it. I do love when Lucas is like, he was being a jerk, and this is suddenly a surprise to you? Right? And she's like, does this have anything to do with playing poorly? How would you know? You weren't even there. Ooh, right in the emotional kisser. Oh my god. The mother-son moments between Karen and Lucas are so great. Like, they just make up and she's like, that was where everything changed in that gym. And it says, oh, emotion. Side note, just the way that Dan is with Nathan and then coming off from seeing, you know, Lucas and Karen, it's such a contrast in their parenting. Dan's such a prick. Oh man, Jake's little talk with Lucas in the library. It's like, Jake was so real, man. Ugh. Oh man, I hate when Lucas doesn't show up to the basketball practice after Nathan was just such a little jerk to him. Like, oh, you know you're not going to be there. Oh my god, what are you in kindergarten? Peyton's feelings about wanting to draw that moment that she can't draw. It's like, I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to on many different topics. It's such another real moment, you know? God, when Dan knocks on Whitey's door and Whitey's like, people who value their lives usually knock first. And then he sees it's Dan. Oh, that explains it. Whitey's lines. I love them. Oh man, it just kills me when Dan's like, Karen's son, in reference to Lucas. It's just, he's so good at that jerk role, huh? Man, when Whitey's like, tells Dan, you're just destroying kids' lives left and right, aren't you? And Dan's like, well, you've made a career out of it. Oh, come on. That's just you, Dan. But I do love their banter. I have to say, it really is enjoyable. I like the one word that they each wrote down. Truth for Peyton. Answers for Lucas, and of course revenge for the ever petty Nathan. Well, petty for now. I love that Whitey is just like, you're on my team until tip-off tomorrow night. He gives Lucas another chance. I just love Whitey. Who's with me? Hashtag Barry Stories. Yes.
Come on, I was just joking. I love you.
Oh my God. Nathan's like, you have some ugly toes, girl. They're like fingers. And she's like, focus on the middle one. Another fabulous response. And honestly, I do love that he's painting her toenails. Like, that's great. Right when I thought Nathan was having like a breakthrough emotional growth moment, I'm gonna quit the team, and then he's all joking. And Peyton looks so let down. So mean. Again. So hearing Haley and Lucas talk about their porn names, and then hearing the girls on the podcast talk about how people in high school don't talk about stuff like that, I have to disagree because me and my friends did. I remember that game. Oh, the other Karen and Lucas moment when she's being all supportive and she's gonna go to the game, but he's like, I can't do it, and I didn't want to be like Dan, and I felt like he had a piece of me. It's just like, feels, man. Like, oh, poor Lucas. Okay, so when Lucas gives the guy from Thud Magazine Peyton's discarded art, I'm conflicted. I'm always conflicted because it's like, that wasn't really your place, but then at the same time she was like, whatever, they don't matter to anyone. So it's like such a conflicting moment. And I love when Haley sees Lucas running down the street and she's like, all right, he's gonna go to the gym. When Dan's like, son, and then Lucas turns around and he's like, give this to my boy, won't you? Right in the heart. Ugh. And then Jake, he just shows up and he's like, don't let him take it. Your talent, it's all yours. And he just takes the bag and it's like, okay, that horrible moment just became okay. Not that moment, but this moment. I feel better now. Forget Dan. Oh, and when Lucas tells Peyton, your art matters, it's what got me here. More feels. I love that moment when Whitey tells Lucas on the basketball court, you're going to be okay. And then he walks away and you see Dan, Lucas sees Dan and Dan sees Lucas and they just stare at each other. And it's like, it's like, yes. I mean, I will say this show like knew how to get those awesome angles and just the perfect those moments, just the moments in the scenes that nothing was really said. So good. And speaking of those moments, when that last shot of the last name Scott off the back of Lucas's jersey, like just floating to the floor, like, I am not your son. Yeah. That's it. Those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching with me, guys. And I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. See you next week.